Hey everyone, it's Rock for Cash, People's Champ, coming to you live from Cash Stadium. Welcome back to the channel. I usually bang on about the FNFL and NFL and all that sort of stuff, but I thought tonight I'll do a bit of a review of the 2020 AFL trade period and just see who did well and who didn't do well and what actually happened. So before we get into that, there's always a song playing in the background. My good friend Mike Brady, who I met a few years ago, you'll know the song. Alrighty, we're going to work on this alphabetically, so let's just have a look at what Adelaide did. So Adelaide, no one came into their team, but they did lose Brad Crouch, Kyle Hartigan and Rory Atkins. They're going to pick up Jason Heatley from the Giants in the pre-season draft. He'll walk in there for free, basically. They got picks 1, 9, 22, 23, 40, 56, 66 and 80 in the upcoming draft. Interesting that they didn't actually get anyone in. I mean, they did finish last, so who'd want to fucking go there? So really, bit of a nothing draft for the Crows. They got a few picks in, lost a good player in Brad Crouch and Rory Atkins, but yeah, nothing to write home about. Brisbane Lions, interesting one here. Joe Danaher from Essendon and Nakia Cockatoo from Geelong have come in. Steph Martin's gone to the Western Bulldogs and Alex Witherden's gone to West Coast. So they'll have 25, 53, 63, 68, 69, 86 and 94 in the draft. Look, they were stiff last year. They played really, really well. They beat Richmond in the final series. Just unlucky against the Cats, really. They sort of shot their load in that game against Richmond. Look, Joe Danaher's obviously going to be a plus to them. And Cockatoo, he could be a star. He never really got a game or a go at Geelong. But Joe Danaher's the key to this. I mean, he'll free up, what's his name? Their full forward. But Steph Martin's going to hurt. He's been a good ruckman. So Oscar McInerney's now going to have to do all the hard work. And Alex Witherden, another really good young player heading over to the West. Yeah, look, they did all right, Brisbane. Move on to Carlton. Carlton in Zach Williams, Adam Sard and Lockie Fogarty. So Zach Williams from the Giants, Sard from Essendon and Fogarty from Geelong. No one left Carlton. They actually signed Eddie Betts to another year as well. They got draft picks 38, 48 and 78. So really they've just topping up their list. Zach Williams, good midfielder. Adam Sard, great off the half-back. And Lockie Fogarty down on the forward line also played through the midfield. So they drafted pretty well. They did pretty well, Carlton. Okay, on to Collingwood. Oh, God, Collingwood. Was this a fucking balls up or what? Jaden Stevenson's gone to the Bulldogs. Stevenson's gone to North with Atua Bosson Valagi. Adam Trelaw's gone to Bulldogs and Tom Phillips has gone to Hawthorn. They've got picks 14, 16, 65, 70, 75 and 92. Really, Jaden Stevens got told to fuck off. Adam Trelaw got told to fuck off. And Tom Phillips, don't know what happened with that one. He's a good player. The other two are good as well, but to let him go to Hawthorn for pick 65 is a joke. Adam Trelaw, he just wanted out after basically being told that no one wanted him there anymore. So he ran with open arms to the Western Bulldogs and made them a very, very good side now. And Jaden Stevenson's just going to die in mediocrity now down at North Melbourne where everyone else does. They're fucking shit. So Collingwood, if you're grading this between A to Z, Z minus. Really bad trade period for them. Okay, move on to Essendon. They picked up Jai Caldwell, Peter Wright and Nick Hind with Joe Danaher, Sard, Fantasia all leaving. So they kept their 6, 7 and 8 picks, which were really good, 44, 77, 85 and 87. So, they're setting themselves up for a pretty good pre-season draft here with picks 6, 7 and 8. Picking up Caldwell is good, Peter Wright, a lot of height there, and Nick Hind from the Saints as well. So look, Essendon have done pretty well. To lose Adam Sard was sad, but he wanted to go. He wanted to go to Carlton. Fantasia wanted to go to Port and Danaher wanted to go to Brisbane. So they just had to get those deals done or they would have got nothing for them. So at the end of the day, you know, they probably need to find that key forward now. You know, with McKernan gone. I mean, Peter Wright, he can play down forward, but he's not going to be a Tony Lockett. So they need to really work hard on what they've actually got in their stocks to do something here. But, you know, all in all, not a bad draft or trade period for Essendon. Fremantle. What can you say about Fremantle? Basically, they brought the bins out with Jesse Hogan, said, who the fuck wants him? And I think it was GWS said, yeah, we'll take him. So Jesse Hogan out, no one in, no one wants to play there, they're fucking shit. Draft picks 12, 32 and 55. No one's interested in Fremantle. They'll be a laughing stock again next year. Geelong's the next one, very interesting. They've picked up Isaac Smith from Hawthorn, Sean Higgins from North, and Jeremy Cameron from GWS, with Lockie Fogarty and Nakia Cockatoo leaving. They've only got picks 51 and 96. They did trade, I think it was 13, 15 and 20, or 15, 17 and 20, something like that, all went to GWS. So, you know, they could have been in a really good position in the pre-season draft, but decided to go with Jeremy Cameron. It's going to be interesting to see how Cameron and Hawkins go playing on the same forward line. Look, they'll make it work. They're going to be scary. They're going to be scary next year. Gold Coast, again, another team no one really gives a shit about. Rory Atkins went there for the money from Adelaide. Oleg Markov went there for the money from Richmond. And Peter Wright left. They got draft picks 5, 27, 37, 76 and 84. Not much you can say. I mean, the Gold Coast, they play a good game here and there, but really, this really hasn't made any difference to how they're going to finish up next year. They'll be down near the bottom. Geez, this is an interesting one. Greater Western Sydney. So they got Jesse Hogan from Fremantle. They picked up Braden Pruce from Melbourne. So they've now got a ruckman because Mumford's gone. I mean, they've got Jacobs as well, but he's in the twilight of his career. But listen to these out. Zach Williams, Aiden Corr, Jeremy Cameron, Jai Caldwell, Jason Haitley will go, and Zach Landon will go, or has gone. They've got draft picks though. So it was 10, 13, 15, 20, 29, 52, 74 and 88. So they got 5 picks in the top 30. They probably didn't really want that many. In the past, they've had these sort of picks and they've picked up good players and they've ended up leaving. So, like Shield and Trelaw, you know, these sort of guys were picked up really early in the drafts. They stay a couple of years and then they piss off. So, look, say what you want to say about, you know, the Giants. They're probably going to be okay, but yeah, I'd probably only grade maybe a C+, if anything, for them in this trade period. In the next team, we've got Hawthorn. Hawthorn got Kyle Hartigan and Tom Phillips, and let Isaac Smith go to Geelong. Hawthorn kept their pick 4. They've also got 24, 45, 46, 49 and 72. So, you know, they probably need to do some work in strengthening their backline, really. I mean, Sicily's gone, Frawley's gone, Stratton's gone. So they really need to do something there. But, you know, Clarko's an amazing coach. So Tom Phillips will be good and Hardigan will be good too. So, you know, they'll be okay. Melbourne, interesting Melbourne. Picked up Ben Brown from North Melbourne. I have a lot of time for Ben Brown. He's a really, really good footballer. Don't know what happened at North Melbourne that, you know, they just didn't want him anymore. It's crazy. But they lost Mitch Hannon and Braden Pruce. So they ended up with picks 18, 19, 28, 50 and 89, which is, you know, a good numbers there. Got 3 in the top 30. they tried to offload Tom McDonald, couldn't find anyone. Aaron Vandenberg, Alex Neil-Bullen also. But, no one of these shit players. So, interesting. I think Ben Brown, smoky for the Coleman. How's that? Alright, here's another team that no one wants to fucking go to. North Melbourne. Jesus, are they in trouble? Well, they got Aiden Core from GWS, Jaden Stevenson from Collingwood, they got Lockie Young and Atu Bossen Valagi. Out Sean Higgins gone to Geelong, and like I said, Ben Brown went to Melbourne. So they kept their pick 2. They got a pick 11 as well and a pick 30. So they got 3 in the top 30 as well. They got 39, 71 and 81 as well. They've picked up Stevenson basically on a fire sale from Collingwood. Collingwood don't know what they were doing. No one knows what they were doing. They've just demoralised their team. They signed a new deal for Jed Anderson as well. So, they're trying, but, it wouldn't surprise me if they finished on bottom of the ladder next year. They're in a world of hurt. No coach. They're in a world of hurt. Port Adelaide, they didn't really need to do much. They finished on top of the ladder, played in a prelim and all that. Picked up Antasia from Essendon, Aaliyah from Sydney, very sad. And no one left, which is who would want to leave. They got draft picks 35, 47, 57, 59, 73 and 95 at this stage. So, Fantasia will do well. He'll be a good little forward. Can rotate through the midfield, but I think now these days he's more a little forward. And Aaliyah hold a key position back too. He's very good at the Swans for the 5 years he was there. So I expect Port Adelaide to just keep going where they were last year. Richmond's an interesting one. They didn't actually bring anyone in, but they did lose a couple. Jack Higgins went to St Kilda, and Oleg Markov went, I think it was to the Gold Coast. They probably didn't want to lose Jack Higgins, but in the end, I think he wanted to leave, get a bit more exposure, a bit more game time. Look, they looked after him. He had brain surgery while he was at Richmond, and they looked after him beautifully. So I don't think he's got any harsh words against the Tigers at all. Just looking for further opportunities. So next team is St Kilda. St Kilda did really well in the draft, I think, picking up Brad Crouch from Adelaide, Sean McKernan from Essendon, and Jack Higgins from Richmond. Nick Hines the only one that left. So the Saints end up with picks 21, 64, 67, 74 and 93. I think they did really well. Like I said, I think that Brad Crouch is going to add a lot to their midfield. He gets a lot of the ball. You got that hard nut sort of Jack Steele. You've got the in and under Dan Hannery. They've got a lot of good players at St Kilda now. So, watch them to really give it a tilt next year. And also they're talking about maybe getting James Frawley as well out of retirement. On to my boys, the Sydney Swans, the old Swannies. Only a couple of changes. Like I said, Aaliyah went to Port Adelaide, and they picked up Tom Hickey, ruckman from West Coast, just to help Sinclair and Naismith out. Both those two guys have been, especially Sinclair, like for the last 3 or 4 years, while Naismith's always injured, he's been the only ruckman really, other than Aaliyah jumping in there every now and then, and Sam Reid. But those two guys haven't been ruckman, so, great work for Cam Sinclair to have a player with him now with Tom Hickey. Tom Hickey did well at West Coast, starved opportunities obviously because of Nick Nat. So he'd be very, very happy that he's probably going to be a starting ruckman at a team now. So good to see. I think the Swans, we didn't get rid of any of our young players, which is really, really good. There was talk about George Hewitt going. They talked about picking up Paddy McCartan from St Kilda to come up and play with his brother. But at this stage, the Swans just picked up a ruckman just to help Sinclair out. And I think with Buddy back next year, and the games that we've pumped into the players the last year or two should, stand us in good stead. Nearly at the end, we're at West Coast now. They've picked up Zach Landon and Alex Witherden from Brisbane. And like I said, Tom Hickey went to Sydney. They've got picks 62, 86 and 91. Really, they've just added to the strength. I mean, Zach Langdon is a good player, and so is Alex Witherden. So they've just added strength to their side, basically. I'm sure that they'll have other backup ruckmen that they can work with losing Tom Hickey. So they probably did okay too, West Coast. And the Western Bulldogs as well. Look, in my opinion, the stars of the draft, stars of the trade period, really. Steph Martin from Brisbane, Adam Treloar from Collingwood, Mitch Hannon from Melbourne, only Lockie Young was the only one that left. They got draft picks 26, 33, 41, 42, 54 and 90. So look, they're going to be a scary side next year. Their midfield is as good as anybody's going around now with Treloar dropping in there. I mean, you think about it, you've got Treloar, you've got McRae, you've got Dunkley, you've got Hunter, you've got Daniel, you've got Liberatore, you've got Bontempelli, you know, the list goes on. And now they've got a ruckman in Steph Martin who can help Tim English. Tim English has been playing solo for the last 3 or 4 years, a poor kid. And now he's finally got a ruckman that can stand next to him and teach him the game properly, because Steph Martin is a pretty good ruckman. So there we have it. Basically, a little rundown of what happened in the trade period yesterday. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Usually talk about NFL, but I just thought for a change we'll talk a bit of AFL. All right, that's a cash out.